All right, folks, let's get right to it. Kick it off for a Thursday. And Mr. Sharma, you were the first one in with gold. So you get a gold membership. Connect on the Discord. Send your information to Miss Stephanie. And everyone else, go to harmonictrader.com. Start your experience as a basic member so that you can be able to participate in markets like this and what's about to happen. We got big stuff. Really big stuff. I mean, this NVIDIA thing it's like Microsoft from a few weeks ago times 10. But go to harmonictrader.com, register now, become a basic member, and then on the basic members page, send your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Let's get right to the charts. Or even before that, what's going on, chat? Welcome. Happy Thursday, everybody. Contemporary Icon, Miss Stephanie, Evan, Dave, Kalen, Spoon, Swooping Hawk, Masterson Trust, everyone else. Thank you. Yes. NBF, let's LFG. Let's LFG. This is really big stuff. Let's just go right to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of the stocks. It's one of the mega cap tech. Okay. Somehow I just did not get a position on this. And really busy yesterday afternoon, and I forgot that they had earnings. But there was a lot here. And we're still looking for, I mean, Nvidia on a long-term chart, folks, is, you know, phenomenal. Phenomenal, bearish candle or not, go to the weekly, even better. There's just, we resume these long-term uptrends, which makes last year just a minor correction, okay? So this is how we need to kind of change our thinking. A lot of people got beat up last year. I took a bit of a beating last year on some things, but all it was a correction in a long-term uptrend. And we probably started the second wave. When you see things like this pop off, I just don't know. The bearish argument, and you guys know I've been wrestling with this for months of how people could be bearish with price action like this. This is even better because, folks, the weekly Nvidia possibilities here, you probably need to go to a monthly. There you go. I mean, there's your monthly chart. The way I would look at Nvidia long term, don't get me, I mean, you could probably chase if you wanted to, but you're probably looking at some kind of major minimum ABCD. If not, a full 1618 extension goes to 480. If that's a 1618 breakout in Nvidia long term on the monthly, and yes, there's precedent. I think something that strong also kind of indicates a potential 1618 expansion. That's how we read that as minimum target. Would you be worried here? Any kind of confirmation? That's a monthly hitting overbought levels, expanding. You're so early on that expansion. It's not anywhere near confirming. You are where you are here is like where you are there and where you were there on an Nvidia, and those were early breakout moves. So same can be said for Microsoft. That's my number one and continues to be. We're just hitting overbought now on a monthly, but every 5-minute pullback is going to be an opportunity. We have another one right now. Every 5-minute dot, make it easy. Get the software. Wait for those 5-minute dots. Take shots on the options. Take shots on the underlying. Because Microsoft is, as we've said, here you are, running for the 886 at a minimum. And how do you think that's going to act? Let's just assume 886 minimum is still 335. You're 10 away. That could happen by Friday. And then let's do the shark. Because if you connect dots, that's really what's going on here. And let's not forget, all of these mega cap tech have mega patterns preceding them, which become more significant as they go farther within the long-term uptrend, because it's like this. There's your XABC. The shark has to go to a 1618 BC minimum and 886. So again, minimum numbers are 340. Microsoft, is that now? Is that next week? A lot going on. And let's not even think about what if this breaks out? What if Microsoft breaks out? All-time new highs. And Apple too. Apple just begging to hit 183. These are huge developments, folks. You can't. I just don't know. There are a lot of people that are still saying, "Hey, we're bearish. Recession's coming." Great, bring the recession. Apple Got a whole bunch of stuff I'm looking at. You're at the 886. You've got like this shark pattern right there. Probably the better pull is from there. And 886 is just a touch higher, 178. You're trying to put in a dot, but that's not official yet until the close this week. But these are, listen, these are markets where things can move like this. And I do feel like you see NVIDIA. Let's check in on NVIDIA really quick again. 383 currently. Anything on the 5-minute or 1-minute chart. Because here's the other thing about just today. This thing has moved. Look how much this has moved. Remarkable. Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, thanks. So even though it seems like that has gotten away from you, remarkable movement, just remarkable movement on NVIDIA, and I wouldn't take it off the radar. I said get this and other ones on the radar. I mean, Netflix is another one. That's a 30-second pattern, but look at the movement here. We're moving 4 or 5 points. This is good action, folks. I think it sets up for, you see that kind of movement? Every correction's getting purchased, getting bought, buyers coming in. Type 2 crab on Netflix right now at 370, 365, but check it out. You have a bullish HSI right now, pretty high level, saying that probably wants to go higher, but Netflix, put it in that stable. Okay, put it in the stable of stocks, Meta, Tesla, Microsoft. Beautiful 30-second pattern. Here's the daily, though. Coming up on a major test of 380. Earnings are in July, so there's going to be plenty of time on this if this is a major, larger development. But there's the proposition on Microsoft, as should all of those mega tech, I'll keep saying that, mega cap tech stocks. These should come back 50% of what they lost last year. And I mean now. 433 on Netflix. That's the 50% retracement. Okay? Hold on. Hold on, folks. 1 second. Thank you. Okay, great. The other ones that probably need to be a top 10 list going forward. Understanding where you are relative to last year's decline, the prior bear market. What are the possibilities? Across the board, standard. 50% to a 618. People call that the golden zone. Whatever. I think it's just 50%, 618, 50% has always been a standard metric. So it's either 50 or 886 across the board. Make a run at the all-time new highs. Even in the weakest situations, that's possible. Daniel's asking, where are the opportunities? I'll tell you where the opportunities are, Daniel. They're in the semiconductors that haven't moved yet. And buying, sizing these other ones up for continued pullbacks. Because the other ones are going to play catch up. there's definitely a first level, first group. Microsoft, Meta, Apple. Now you got Netflix trying to make a run where it could still go 10% higher and not and be at the 50% retracement. 1 second. Wow. Yeah, Microsoft's at new highs for the day. I think Microsoft again getting to 330 is, and those 330 options are now, they were a nickel yesterday, they're now 70 cents. Go to Amazon. Okay, Amazon slagging a bit from the rest of them, but I just think after you get out of that hole and start making progress like the rest of them, a couple of dots there on Amazon, but I would look for this kind of action. Like you get a yellow dot, you go sideways and then break out. That's how you know it fails. Right now, definitely cautious on any new longs on Amazon until something on like the 4-hour time frame. Maybe that gave me, oh, that is, there you go, 4-hour. You got some action here, high level accumulation, but that is still within this whole weekly framework. Oh wait, hold on, I got the wrong, let me get the right set of software on there. I had the wrong layout on there. Back to Amazon. And Amazon, within a stone's throw of its minimum weekly target one, we've talked about that, 122. 122. I would say by next Friday at the latest, and every time this thing pulls back, there you go, bang. Amazon 5-minute setup. This is exactly what I have been saying across the board for these kind of 5-minute patterns. A little bit sloppy, but you have everything you want to see. There's the completion. Okay, hit the hop on the open. Not a problem, but where's confirmation? It's there. 114. Hold on 1 second, folks. I know what I got to do here. 1 second. Thanks, everybody. Great. Appreciate it. Oh, settle in. I mean, I want to go through this stuff because this is going to be the playbook for the summer. And I think if you are taking your time, sizing it up now, we have been at several stages this year where these targets that seemed, questionable, let alone were they even going to reverse? Amazon's super questionable down there at the 94, 95 area, flirted with 80. Now we do have a bat pattern. You have a few things there that are bearish, no doubt. But I think it's more about the weekly time frame. I mean, the target one, even if we pause off this daily setup, I would still look for any pullback as an opportunity within this new trend. Probably even better, check out Google. And I mean, this has been a good one. 93.33 XA level off that deep crab, and was a perfect type 2 that had a secondary retest as recently as mid-March. Now, you're certainly hitting some overbought levels. 125. I think that's, if you pause here, even push a little higher, you're going to probably grind. But again, look at the weekly. Perfect crab pattern. And this has been a larger phenomenon with all of these patterns where, not only did they respect the levels, but I mean, straight to them. So I'll watch 125.88. If something larger develops on Google and does it in the next week or so, easily a 140, 145, 886 retest. That's the only thing that's left here. And notice that there's no bearish overbought reading here yet. So we're either like 126, which is a 618, or you go to an 886, 145. And if I was bearish, I'd want to see something up here, some kind of overbought signal early. If you wanted to be bearish on Google, it's early. And if we blow through here like we saw NVIDIA, and I don't think every stock's going to do an NVIDIA, or at least not yet. But that's just a massive signal of strength that, I don't know. I mean, it's this pretty much every time you see one of these come together, it just kills the bearish argument more and more. Go to the Qs. Look at this weekly chart. And we're now steadily making a pattern of higher highs and, more importantly, higher lows. And we have done that for most of the year. I mean, really since that low early January, just amazing. Like, hey, let's just turn on the button day one and let's just go up from day one of 2023. Like 2022 didn't even happen. And here we have our first bearish signal. What's happening? It's blowing right through there. It's just ignoring that. So decisively up until some kind of major overbought signal generates on the Qs. I've said this before, and I really want to run with it. Summer playbook, if you will, folks. We're going to the shark. I know people can't believe that, but the configuration's like 395. The configuration just kind of puts it where this most recent segmented move of last year's last ditch down is going to be a 1618. 380. And that 1618 is around there, and then the 886, which is the combination of numbers. I think you make a run at 400. Our numbers are 395, but a lot of people are going to be thinking, could this really, once this gets to 350, there's really nothing but air of last year. And maybe the rationale, or maybe if you start hearing, last year was a mispricing of the environment. It's a classic line. We're already seeing that. I mean, we're seeing it in pattern configuration, and you're seeing price action at critical levels. Remember, this is the B point breakout, whether it's a shark, a bat. You get 4 of the 5 harmonic pattern levels. You trigger that BAM breakout. So I really think it's something that's going to circulate for sure. One day it's NVIDIA, next day it's Meta. Next day it's Tesla. Although each of them are going to do their things individually. Yeah, look, Meta's popping today, 255. That's new high for the move. Wow, look at that. And notice how even with these bearish patterns on the 5 minute, they're all kind of just reactions. A nice pattern at 247 2 days ago, and now you just kick it up. I mean, the weekly, you're at the daily, weekly target ones now. That's the weekly level on Meta. Here's the daily pattern. The daily pattern has slightly larger values. It grabs off of this low from March 21. It probably should be grabbing off of that low, but so be it. The two targets are 251 and 302. I think at this point you have to be strategizing your early summer move. You make that run to 300 on Meta by earnings. July 26. And it's not far. I mean, look, you're already 255. Major gap fill, 320. You tell me. It is absolutely, it will reach a point of being too late when it gets to these levels. Because we will hit a reaction. And across the board structurally, if they're all going to run to 886s, which imagine if Meta did that, its 886 is like 350. You tell me. And it wouldn't differ. I mean, it's not going to be different. Then it's going to follow the price action pattern of Apple, which is just begging to hit that 886. And I think Apple, with everything it's got together here, it's probably the best example of a shark leading the way that, let's see, I mean, massive type 2 bat pattern on the weekly. Can't ignore that. We're 129. Is that a major low or just a temporary low? The other thing here is that you have that bearish pattern. Here you can kind of go off like this. And so little inside shark, but it's all about that 886 retracement. And imagine if this thing blows through. That's my question. I'd more want to be concerned that if it breaks out, I'm ready. And any kind of pullback, even if it had a pullback, at worst, it becomes a 5-0 level. Again, you're seeing a yellow dot here, but must take note that that is only going to be a yellow dot if this closes on Friday as a bearish candle, and that's under 173.98. So be aware of that. I mean, it's still 2 long days to go. A whole bunch of stuff developing. I mean, it's phenomenal. I do want to kind of show 1 or 2 options charts currently. I'm looking at Amazon. Let me bring up that. Well, let's first look at Microsoft. A couple Microsoft 330 calls. Yesterday, they were trading for a nickel, but look at what we had down here. Hold on, come on back. We had some patterns down here at 23 cents. It was, but what was there was a 60-minute or 30-minute pattern. Yeah, I mean, even on the longer term, the option patterns, You had a number of type 2s. It was really interesting that preceded this major move. So again, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at, what could Microsoft do by Friday? It's already up 10 today, and it's probably a little late, but we can also apply this to some others, I think, like Amazon. There you go. Here was Microsoft, the 325s. This was something I had this yesterday and sold it early on the retracement. I was in on this down here and got pulled out, which I was happy to do, but now did the perfect type 2. This is a danger about the option strategies where a lot of times that first move is just a reaction, and you got to just deal with it. The NVIDIA thing was insane. Some of those option contracts went 80x. No, seriously. 80x on some of those NVIDIAs, like those NVIDIA 400s. They were trading a nickel. And went to like $3, $4. So it does happen. And again, that's why I'm full deep dive right now on options, because I think if we get this move and real acceleration, you're going to get it. Options are going to be the place to be. Here's Apple on a 60-minute. All right, beautiful Gartley. I've been following this all week, right down at the 170 level. Type 1 though. Type 1. So I'm keeping my eye on this one for today. That's why this close today, how we close, is really important. They tried to sell it off, but S&P was up a lot more. It's now plus 28. The Qs are still up 8, but they were down. They had sold them off a bit. Here's Apple with a really nice hourly type 1 Gartley. Let's see what happens here. Already kind of showing signs of exhaustion at target 1. I would need to see confirmation, but ideally maybe something like this. And then you go. That might require next Friday call options. And that's something else to consider, that it really doesn't matter. I think it's better to have a little bit more time. Maybe go out next week. But if we're going to get these moves, and that's going to develop into June, because that's something else where, think about it. If these targets are showing themselves the way they are, then by the end of the quarter, fund managers and others are going to be piling in on this. So Apple up here, right where we are right now. I'm watching. We're going to roll over. You're almost at that 886. I think that's huge. A couple more that we should be really focused on. Here's Adobe. Okay, how much has that come off? It's already up 100, but I think these are the ones, these high flyers that were decimated. There's a 50% correction. Adobe, not even at a 382. It's at 450. It's up huge today. It's up 7%. But if you're not watching it, start watching, because I think these kind of situations technically have got a 50% bounce even in a bear market, still in a bear market. Do check it out. I mean, that's all of those. And then the other one is, again, Tesla. What are Tesla's levels? Because the weekly has yet to hit target 1 at 221. We're stabilizing at, check it out, this daily shark, which I find is pretty interesting. But we're hitting a couple of overbought levels with most recent dot. And that's a valid dot where target 1 at 188. just stalling out for now. Both of those say Tesla eventually goes to 210, but how does it do it? I mean, I've seen this thing dip $10 a few times. Oh, there you go. That's one way. There's a 5-minute bat pattern. It's a type 1, but that's the exact kind of thing. Didn't even see that until now. But look for, yeah, something like that, but a type 2. So maybe we get back a retest to the 180 level, hop level 179. Yeah. I think the others, I think Google, Amazon, those are pretty powerful. Tesla might need more time, but Tesla with the weekly stuff, you know, we did a 3-bar, or we're trying to do a 3-bar breakout this week of the last 3 weeks. If we can really stay above last week when it was technically a 3-bar breakout as well. Here's the thing with Tesla, like, how do we know if it's really going to take off? One of the best things that I feel like triggers acceleration is the amplified RSI. And no surprise that we can consolidate at the 50 line, but it's really the ability to get from there, get from 50 to 70. And on the weekly, that's pretty close to sending it. Same on our HSI. You know, can you get that back up? So a bullish close this week, that would really help the longer term case, and I think there's plenty of time. Like the rest of them, you're pretty conservative to go to target 1. Couple more. Sure. AMD, yeah, AMD. These are. Oh, look at that. There's target 2. Say hello. 61 was the low. 122. It's a massive bat pattern. With, is there anything there? No, you're expanding. You're just blowing through that. That's amazing. And this too. So AMD, and probably most semiconductors with this kind of configuration, what that is, it's an extreme harmonic impulse wave. That's it. Takes you to a shark. 886 is across the board. That's how that pans out. I mean, it just is not. This is why it's such a critical time. Really, I mean, again, you're not jumping. Don't be just FOMOing in. You're going to get opportunities, but it's just going to stair step higher and not stop until these weekly 886s are hit. Let's come back to Meta. Up almost 6 today. Yep. You just got to kind of let that go. You know, you gotta let that set up. There's better ones like the Amazon thing, the Apple thing. You know, those 5-minute patterns. Oh, geez, Apple's already taken off. Where's the Amazon? There you go. Amazon's probably a better candidate with, there you go, with the pattern. The other ones are just, you know, they're too far along. But that's how you have to circulate through your list, get them all on there. This is probably, oh, here's the main, like, active list I'm looking at every day. Here's Applied Materials, up 750 today. That's just phenomenal. But it's, you know, you'll get another 5-minute pullback like we've seen once a week, once every 2 weeks. Going into June, though, believe me, this is how we want to set these up. Let's take a deep dive on Google really quick. We haven't looked at that too much, but yeah. No confirmation yet. That would be another one to watch for a blowout through the exact level it is today and go run to the 886, like the 140s. Pretty remarkable stuff. I mean, a lot of these coming together in a way that have potential that is not being discussed on the street for sure. A couple of more. I'll jump to crypto. What's going on, Scotty? Mr. Scotty Joe wants to look at Rivian. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about these low floaters. I think that's a pretty good way to call it. Beautiful pattern. Clearly, you've got the software. It is a deep crab. Confirmation was down here, $12. It's around 14. I'll give you this. Keep your eye on it. That's a nice one. But I think the mega cap big tech offers you the daily flow and liquidity that you're going to want to see. These might just do nothing for weeks and then pop in 2 days. So that's just a thought, but I think these are great patterns. There's a bunch of these. There really is a ton of these big patterns. Other ones that have really moved already, you know, some like that. Here was Travel Zoo. Okay, that's something that popped big, printed in a dot up here. Probably comes back to from almost 950, probably goes to 680. It's a heck of a lot to give back. Okay, but it does so in such a just a inconsistent fashion. You can have a big up day, 10, 20%, and then comes right back down. Just with those low floaters. This is a great one. I still like this longer term. Beautiful weekly bat pattern. That is one that has materialized. But these big tech, it's where you want to be. No doubt. NVIDIA, listen, NVIDIA is up 87. Chances are, let's take a look at this really quick. It goes to 400. Let me look at what are the 400 calls going for right now? What are the 400? Hold on. Let's go NVIDIA 400s because chance that goes to 400 today, likely. Holy smokes. Those 400s are trading 260, they're asking 265. What about you guys, you're going to, don't jazz me, but seriously, the 420s, because I know all you knuckleheads are going to, there's a bunch of knuckleheads are going to be like, I want to buy the 420 calls because that'll be cool when it 10Xs. Those are asking 77. But a better play, better volume, clearly is the 400s. And look, NVIDIA just printed a yellow dot, folks. So here, this is a good example. No pattern, but it's a 5-minute potential continuation formation. Any 30-second intraday. There's some bearish patterns on a 30-second chart. Nothing really there. Bad pattern. This is why we look for a dot after the icon. I keep my eye on that. Keep my eye on this 5-minute dot here. That's at 382. You're at 387 right now. And then where's look at that. NVIDIA, the 320 calls. There you go. The NVIDIA 320 calls Yeah, they were 569 yesterday. No trading 60. But nice pattern down there. I mean, nice ABCD. Ah, sorry. There it is. Tough one. That happens. I thought that was also a 60-minute. So there are some really, yeah, look, it was down there not even like a week ago. It was trading $1.85. You know, traders really do win. But right now, I would be looking at this saying, okay, forget what happened yesterday. Talk to me about today. Uh, yeah, so instead of looking at the 320s, tell me what the 420s are asking a day later. Asking 78 cents, $100 higher. You know, but they opened up at 4. Interesting stuff. I'm watching Nvidia. Oh, there you go. Okay, so this is a good one. So you guys know I like to look at the 5-minute chart and 30-second time frame to cross-reference. If I was reading this and saying, hey, is there an opportunity in Nvidia? Yeah, maybe down at this 48-cent level. Confirmation was 56. Again, extremely speculative. But this is how I look at options. This is how I've been looking at Microsoft and Apple and Amazon and Tesla, Netflix. Hit a couple, missed a bunch. I have missed a bunch. I've hit a few though. And I just feel like every time I miss one, I'm that much closer. And these are still viable vehicles moving amazing amounts intraday. So I'll look for, back down there, 50 cents, something like that. But there's better setups right now to be considering for Friday or even next Friday, Amazon. There you go, Amazon 120s. Okay, this is kind of crazy. I don't want anybody to do anything with this. I'm kind of postulating this for the harmonic pattern crowd. Okay? And I'm going to start introducing this more and more because of what I've seen, it's, pointing me in the right direction. Got to have patterns on both underlying and the option, even if it's something ridiculous like that. Amazon 120 expires Friday. What could that do? It's a 30-second chart, too. I'd probably want like a 5-minute with these weekly options or even monthly options. You got some, and as crazy as it is, you just need to be generating patterns on the software, and you got my attention. So Amazon 120s, that's an all or nothing proposition. Maybe you go down to like the 115s. Where, hey, if you're not right, you still can probably scalp out half the option premium. This is a little more reasonable. Look at this 5-minute setup for Amazon. Pretty nice type 1, type 2 condition here. Even though it's like a second or third time with the option contracts. Look, 284 exactly. Back down. Now we have confirmation. So then you've got that with the Amazon pattern down here on the 5-minute. It's pretty ugly, but look, confirmation's around 114.62. And the 5-minute chart, that just confirmed, like within what, the last hour, not even. Just some ways to look at this stuff. We'll come back to it. I think it's If you guys are already here, we're doing harmonic patterns on stocks, crypto. Yes, we'll do crypto in a second here. Doesn't matter. But I think for where we are kind of in this whole cycle, while everyone's sitting on their crypto, waiting for Bitcoin halving to do something for people, you got this. And you got mega tech cap that will attract mega money. No doubt. I think it's this summer, and I think it's, you want to kind of like get warmed up to it for. Sorry, I'm not veering off of that. Sorry, guys. We're back. So, Bitcoin, yeah, hold that. Check back. 4 hour dot, please. And then you'll have some kind of like relief rally. But the longer term resistance between 30,500 and 27,000, 26,300, that doesn't change. You're just scraping the low end. Ethereum is a little bit stronger, although Bitcoin has more signals. Trying to really hold its head at 1,800 here on Ethereum. So, and you do have some 4 hour conditions. The daily stuff, yes, yes. I just get nervous when they do a plank walk like it's currently doing. Like, great, you stabilized. You've been here at 1,800 for 10 days. Can you go up? Can this come up? Or is this going to flush? So, eyes on that. At best, it holds 1800. At worst, then you break really under 1700, then it's a time factor. But I still say it's, this upward grind doesn't change. Yeah. Pretty strong, remarkable stuff. Um, and it's not like a heck of a lot of opportunity. I mean, Bitcoin's the one with the 4-hour patterns. Ethereum really doesn't have any 4-hour patterns down here. Binance Coin, I think psychologically, you want to look at BNB and say, hey, you need to hold 300. If you're going to be in industry, whatever, you need to hold 300. You've got back-to-back patterns of Binance Coin. So this makes it an interesting setup, even more so than Ethereum and Bitcoin probably combined. 4-hour, type 2, 2 of 2. 2 of 2 on 2 patterns. 1, come back for the Gartley perfectly at the XA of the deep crab. Reaction back up, come back for the retest. You formed confirmation, a couple of dots. I mean, this is like right there. What you need to see is a 3-bar breakout on Binance Coin, and you go from 300 to 325. So is this an impending bounce here for Binance Coin? It really should be. I mean, it really should be like some kind of 5-10% rally right now. Off of that setup, it's a 2 of 2 with the kind of confirmation. The only thing you look at now is tell me what's it doing in the 3-bar window. You get a yellow dot, okay? Let's say you're right there. You're disciplined, you're there, your dot appears. This is a 5-minute or 5-hour chart, doesn't matter. Now it's down to the 3-bar window, 3 to 5 bar. Tell me what this does over the next 3 to 5 4-hour bars. So next 20, 24 hours. We should see this thing turn around. Number 4, let's not even spend much time on it because there's better things than these to look at, quite frankly. But, I don't like the fact that XRP is back under 45 cents. I don't like it. Going to come back, to 43 on the 4-hour chart? And the daily is just getting heavy. I mean, that could come back to 40 cents easily. That's the kind of signal where it's like, all right, it's no place to be a long. And if anything, if you're in XRP, be prepared for more time and lower retest. Number 5 is Cardano, and talk about retest. 28.2 cents. Set my alert, set your phone alert, whatever. This is going to be the price signals. 28 cents. That's where we go. That's Cardano's opportunity zone. But not until then. And the way it's coming off, bearish pattern on the type 1. Yeah, this is just itching to come back for a full XA retest down here. Do nothing with it. Let me show you a couple things that are moving. Something that I mentioned specifically that I mentioned on Tuesday. Okay, ARPA. Anybody remember me say ARPA? Had no idea it was going to moon like this. In fact, remember me just bellowing about how everything is a reaction? I think I was saying something like, look for pullbacks like that. Well, that one, okay, I did catch that move, but I'm out of that. I think that's overdone for now. But what was ARPA? And I'll still look for another entry because I still think these targets, 13.5, maybe 18.8, are logical. This is the kind of, oh man, this is the kind of thing we hope for all of those long-term patterns. It's absolutely the thing, really take this ARPA chain. If you haven't seen this before, follow it now and look at all of the other crypto that we go through, because this is the kind of thing you want to see. Even with such a long extended consolidation period, look, back here, that was the completion of the pattern. And you did not really blast out of the zone until 500 days later. 500 days after pattern completion, roughly, you're now within a stone's throw of 13.5 cents. But think about it this way. Now, how do you feel about that trade? Because 500 days ago, confirmation, everything you would look at was 5.4 cents. And again, it just walk through these steps with crypto because it happens all the time. It's happened to every one of us. And it's how we need to kind of like frame out the harmonic patterns in crypto so that we can optimize our entries. Because look, now at 11 cents or 10 cents, whatever, 5.4 is a monster trade. But down at the lows, you go back to January, you were on a 50% drawdown. 50% drawdown. And you stayed in a 50% drawdown, or probably more like 25 to 50% drawdown for over a year before finally you realized your run to 13.5 cents. You could wait for 13.5, or after being in that position for so long, at this point you say, I take my double and run because I was down 50% at the time for a time. Really critical thinking framework with crypto because it's happened so much where you've got pattern and completion, but you have this overspill where you could easily get a 30 to 50% drawdown and be screwed in a zombie position for a long time before it does anything like this. Here's the other one that I think is moving. And I like it. I've got my eyes on this thing, is this render. Now, you'd say, why are we at this here with a bearish crab pattern? Because we've seen this thing react several times, and I'm not doing anything yet, but look, there was in the first bat pattern, 165, perfect low, back to 230. And I've gone through this a few sessions on render. And another one with yellow dots, bang. Now we're up here. You got confirmation, whatever. We probably run to 290 or $3 now. Maybe we go to the high to 340, but this has not stopped. And then back down to target 1, 216. At least that one is moving. Anyone have any crypto that's really moving like this? Steady uptrend where you really can capture some moves. I mean, the 4-hour chart's been really nice on that render. Especially, we talked about that last pullback where to 165 on render, I was thinking, go back to 220, something like that. Maybe that goes higher. Show me a couple crypto, folks, because, I just don't see things really rocking yet. They're quite a bit off. Yeah, let's go to BTC dominance. I think, been a long time since we looked at that. Let's go to daily. Yeah, 4-hour patterns. Cheers. All right, look, crab pattern, crabs all over the place. This is Bitcoin dominance. And you've got a couple of things going on there. You know, two patterns here at 47, 48. Another crab pattern. This is a couple of, there's a shark, it's a crab. Back to 48. You do have a high level counter HSI, so maybe this stays up there for a little while longer, but I'm sure the weekly's got, no, not on that chart. Huh. Well, what are the last few cycles? Because look, it's amazing that the last cycle dominance barely budged. And what you're back at the highs for last year. I mean, theoretically, that is a monthly bat pattern. Let me see if it shows up. No, it doesn't show up, but if I connect the dots here, I think you guys will find this interesting. It's a, is that a shark? The high was 73.02 there. Yeah, it's a shark because it's secondary high. It's like this. 1, 2, like that. Down to a 1618886. I mean, that's just spot on. But probably still in the zone where you're squeezed between 47 and 40. 40's scraping it, though, on your dominance chart. That's a nice chart, though. And then last time someone requested ETH to Bitcoin to ETH. Sorry. Yeah, typed it, said it right, typed it wrong. Yep. Couple more, though. Let's look at total. But I really think the total story is about total 3. Look at what total crypto, total 3 is doing, folks. It's all the way down for a run to target 2 at 331. And there's nothing here on total 3 on the daily that says that's over yet. 4-hour chart, nothing. Monthly chart, not good. Doesn't look good at all. So that probably, with the total 3 still sagging, that's why all the alts are just, they're lagging. Maybe we get another oversold later, but you're 341 now. Let's go back to 330 at a minimum. And this also gets back to total crypto index needing to stay above $1 trillion. That's it, really above 1.1. Is this going to fail the uptrend? That's all. Keep an eye on it. It's really threatening, but a couple of days here. It gets wicky, but holds $1 trillion. That would be major. 4-hour chart. There you go. Watch that. Couple of 4-hour oversold signals at least. It is a type 2 on the crab. That's close though. 105, 106. Excuse me, 1.05, 1.06 trillion. Absolutely. That would be big. We got 5 more days coming into the end of the month, after tomorrow or after tonight. You would want to see this thing stabilize here. I don't want to see lower lows. Not after doing at least the 1-2 off of that crab on the 4-hour chart. See, I don't think anyone has any cryptos that are really moving. I mean, you have that ARPA, but that's completely done now. I mean, that's already done. ARPA chain. That will retrace. And you got that render. But even things like, here's Cosmos, I just doing nothing. 4-hour bat pattern. It's beautiful. Barely budges. 10 cents, 20 cents. I think for these, you have to go to the daily time frame. You got to go back and wait for the type 2s. There's a type 2. Gartley at 905. Sumer says Tomo. I don't think I've ever heard of Tomo. Tomo USD. All right. I've heard of it now. Now I've heard of it. Yeah. 4-hour butterfly. Maybe come back to $1. But you have to play these within that uptrend channel. Pretty nice consecutive. Look at those patterns. Not a bad idea. Look, and that's actually not a bad thing to be looking at. I wish they were a little bit bigger, better range, but if you have a Gartley here, your type 1, your type 2, you're looking for just like 10% segments, quite frankly. You're at 125 and you go up 12, 13 cents. It didn't even get there, but you're looking for those kind of reactive moves. I would say for that, let it come back down to 120, or even on the longer term, that's moved so much that, yeah, look, the 4 hours got some bigger targets at $1. Looks or look? Let me see. Looks. Yeah, I have to get on KuCoin. That's a nice pattern, 4-hour opportunity, but I think you're going the wrong way. Yeah, your daily is an overbought reading, your most recent one. Beautiful patterns, but again, they're duds. They're duds. Just not a little pop reaction, come back down. Pop reaction. I mean, we need to see stuff that's like that last one. I mean, it's just on an uptrend, and it's not. And it's some of the other ones that really did explode from January, like this one. Beautiful. 10 cents to 30, 3x in a few months. Great. It's going to get retested. 10 cents. It's already 17. Same with that Cartesi. Probably not even as nice. Whoa. I might get shocked by lightning, guys. I have to watch out. Crypto miners, sure, Costa. I think that's a good one to look at. They've been interesting. You know what I like of those crypto miners? I like this clean spark thing, but let it do its 1-2 dance. It's a type 2 by far. 422. I mean, it's a bearish right now. Let that come back down to 323, because look, you got weekly stuff here that's even better. So on the daily, it's probably done. Weekly, you're looking for an opportunity against that big pattern. The other one, BT, same thing. Big bat pattern. But on the daily right now, check it out. Dailies, You're hitting some pattern resistance at 255. I'd want to have that come back for a target 1. Yeah, sorry, Evan. But that's, we have to be patient in that zone. That's how they have to come together, or you have to wait for it. You need to be there. You need to be patient with it. The other one is Riot, of course. So Riot, look how tight this is. I mean, that kind of action tells me you have to respect the pattern. We have a counter trend HSI, basically 1050s trying to be support, but $12 firm resistance. I would still say that that's got to do a target 1 hit. Come down and then go back up, but you got to come down first. But that's still down. I think those miners, they got to come in a bit. One or two more. Yeah, before I lose my internet, because that's been happening with these crazy storms in the afternoons down here. Serum. Who said that? Dave. What's going on, Dave? Look at that. Dave, you must have the software because that's a beautiful pattern. I'll pay attention to that. I wish that was... Oof. I wish that was broken out and didn't have a bearish HSI, but hey, that's kind of the positioning we want to look for. Maybe in another week or two. 7 cents. And this popped to 45.50, so it's done a couple of bumps. Look, that first one, explosion, 7 to 35 cents and straight back down. 12 cents to 50 cents, straight back down. Now you're back at 7 cents. I like the thinking there. I really do. Who said that again? Dave said that. So that's a new one. I don't know if it's on one of the other ones. I need to get on OKCoin or QCoin. But maybe a target 1 up to 27. And I would almost think you have to put an automatic limit order, because if it explodes, it's going to hit and roll back down. Like all of them, all the rest of the crypto do that. No, keep an eye on that one. I like it. Luis Sosa, welcome to the live stream. SMR, probably a low floater, right? Yeah. Nice one though. I appreciate. Listen, I don't mind looking at low floaters when it's like this. Almost a perfect type 2, but you're sitting on a hop. You have a dot, 790 right where you are right now. But again, with this kind of a trend, get me to the right of that downtrend, and that's maybe a month away. What's the weekly look like? Yeah, this is real low floater. And the problem is if it doesn't work, that goes to $3. I'd rather wait. Get me some development here. Get to the right of that downtrend. Look at the Qs. Let's dial back to the QQQ right now. New high for the move. Jeez. I was in the Discord yesterday seeing 330. We had some things down here at 330. What was it? A minute chart? I'll have to go back and look. But for today, look, 340 on the 1 minute chart. Easy run. And I've been saying this in our monthly reports, folks. The bigger patterns that you'll have here for the QQQ, is more like 344, 346, and that would satisfy your type 1 off of the shark pattern. Basically, it's a 50% retracement at 347, call it. So that's still 7 higher. Where do you think it's going? 1 or 2 more. Block. Is that square or is that, yeah, square. Ooh, I like that because now you're a big pattern, small pattern, but look where you are. Come on down for a type 2 right at the all-time low. That's around 51. It's still got a bit to go, but I would look at that. The other one is PayPal, which looks ugly, trending. I mean, it looks new lows, but you're at the hop at 59.19, like right now, today. So I'm looking at PayPal. I'm not doing anything because the price action's horrible. No confirmation yet, but it is at that hop level, which is something we've been looking for. Notice I drew the arrow, but on the type 2, there's no confirmation. No arrow, no dot. I'm waiting on it, but it's very close. Don't want to be dismissive of this stuff. And again, these are not created equally. Crypto, the tech stocks, have to be super selective on things that are moving, things that are not. Let's look at SPY really quick. And while I'm loading that up, let's give away one more gold membership. First person to type in GOLD. We'll give you a 30-day. That includes software, gold membership, Discord access. Check that out. Gold, GOLD. Microsoft, new highs for the day. Coming up. Here's the S&P 500. It is a deep crab ever since that low where, again, I think you're up here running for 429. Metodici, you win. You have to contact Miss Stephanie in the gold membership. But listen, the reason why we're this late stage, I mean, why be looking for a higher move after such a run? Because the targets are very close. The whole harmonic action of the whole harmonic argument since last October or last fall has played out perfectly. Perfectly. I mean, these massive weekly patterns have played out perfectly. So we got to stick to these targets. We're that far along. It's either 429 or the next HSI overbought signal, and HSI is nowhere to be found. Amplified RSI on the S&P, look, well above the 50 line for the last 6 months. That just turns up. That's what I think is going on with the SPY. You're going to turn up at a high level, 50 level here, and make a run at the overbought signal into next month's earnings. And when you turn up and you go to 429, 430, easy, all right, you got a chance to do even more. It's just this thing has been grinding higher and now just looks like it wants to launch. Microsoft, new high of the day. That's where we are, and this is not going to change all summer long. I was saying that this is the playbook for the summer, and it's, you know, until we hit these higher targets, that's what you got to stick with. Crypto's a little bit different. One or two more. Evan saying XRP is your number one crypto position. I think crypto's great. It's probably doesn't come in until next year because of the Bitcoin narrative. You want all those people that are going to come next year for Bitcoin Miami, okay, that's the kind of crowd you're going to want to see come in and just chase Bitcoin at any price. But that's probably not until next year. Red Nose AR says, if there's a moment where we could bam, breakaway moment, or I like to say bat action magnet move, or breakout action magnet move, it should be now with all those AI hype of all the years and massive earnings around the corner. Tech stocks are going higher. Yeah, definitely. You've got a new narrative. But again, this is the stuff to pay attention to. Okay? And I've been saying this for a while. When Microsoft does such a blowout move at Target 2, and go back a month ago and look at what I was saying, that's a massive candle telling you something. It's a massive candle telling you something. And then in Nvidia doing the same. Nvidia busting out there, all-time new highs. Yeah, it's not the end of anything. I mean, that really is where it's just kind of like, hey, new paradigm, this thing's going to accelerate. Even if you're halfway through there, you still have halfway to go. So, listen, develop the list, go through them, look at the semis. We'll probably look more at the semis on Tuesday because I think a lot of those have a ways to go. I bought Intel and it went under 28. I'll probably buy more. But let's save that for Tuesday. Okay, I'm more interested in those Megatech, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, all of them now. Apple now. Stick with it. All right, folks. All the winners, please contact Miss Stephanie on the Discord. Everyone else, get over to harmonictrader.com. Get with our software, everything we worked with today. It's available as a basic member, so just register now. Send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Any other questions, contact us on the Discord. Until Tuesday, have a great weekend. See you, folks. Go get them. Have a great one.